Alright, yeah, welcome back to some more Magic Arena. Today we're back on the Tribal Train. We're going to be playing another deck that I actually played on the streamer event, and it did really well, so I'm going to be trying it out in the constructed bit where everything's a little less fair. We're going to be playing some Black-White Angels. So this is obviously a tribal list built around Lyras that have our wonderful lifelink buff, but honestly the real combo is one of my favourite things at the moment, which is Sorin Ventral Bloodlord and Resplendent Angel. So Resplendent Angel is a 3-mana 3/3 with flying, and it says at the beginning of each end step, if you gain 5 or more life this turn, you get to create a 4/4 white angel creature token with flying and vigilance. So we can get some serious power on the board. And how do we do that? Well, we have an ability to do this on turn 3. If we can play Fountain of Renewal on turn 1, this is Magical Christmas Land, by the way. Fountain of Renewal on turn 1, which gives us life, 1 life on our upkeep. The next turn, we play Bishop of Wings, which is a 2-mana 1/4. Whenever an angel enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 4 life. And when an angel you control dies, you get a spirit, so every creature dying gives us some value. So we gain 1 life from this, we gain 4 life from this. On turn 3, we play Resplendent Angel, gaining the 1 life, 4 life, which triggers Resplendent Angel, and we get ourselves a 4/4, which triggers the Bishop of Wings again. So it's a 3-card combo that gets you 7 power on board, 8 power in total with the Bishop of Wings on turn 3, and gains you 8 life along the way, which is pretty disgusting. In addition to the fountains, we also have the Angel of Vitalities here, which works with the Angel Synergy. We actually get to gain an additional point of life off of any life gain triggers. So Sorin gains 2 life, Bishop gains 5 life, Fountain gains us 2 life, that kind of thing. And if we have 25 or more life, it becomes a 4/4, which is pretty sweet. A lot of the time as well, this thing will have lifelink from either the Sorin, which gives creatures and planeswalkers lifelink, or from the Lyra, which also gives angels lifelink. It's pretty awesome. Other than that, we've got some sweet pieces in here. Seraph of the Scales is a really good blocker, 4/3 for 4. When it dies, you get to create 2 1/1 spirit tokens. If you have a bishop out, then you create 3, so there's a lot of replaceable value there. Again, we have a few creatures in here that just get value no matter what, like short of being exiled, I suppose. We're going to get some value. We have a Shalai to protect our face and the rest of our creatures should it come up. And the Sorin, as we mentioned, has the ability to tick up and trigger, but also the minus is really nice. Never mentioned this before, but you can actually minus X on this one as soon as it comes out. If you minus 3, we get some of our best cards. So Resplendent Angel comes down as an example, and we get some lifelink triggers. So we get to rebuy this card over and over and over again to get some 4/4 value. It's wonderful. If we don't do that, though, we tick up and then we've got 6s and we open up Seraphs, Shalais and Lyras for the reanimated target. You may be noticing Command the Dreadhorde over here. This is going to be our meme target for the day, but honestly I think it's kind of legit in this deck. 6 mana for a sorcery, you get to choose any number of target creatures and or planeswalkers in graveyards. And then Command the Dreadhorde deals damage equal to its total converted mana cost of those cards, and then you put them on the battlefield under your control. So most of you will have seen this card with the Explore package using Wild Growth Walkers to gain life whenever you explore, which gets rid of the damage dealt downside of Command the Dreadhorde. We actually legitimately have something quite similar with us, because we have the Bishop of Wings, which says whenever an angel enters, we gain 4 life, which means if we pick up our angels, as long as they are 4 mana or less, which most of our angels are, then we're actually going to be going neutral with our damage dealt. We can also go into our opponent's graveyard, steal their planeswalkers and things like that, which is really nice, and do some serious stuff. So if in the late game we draw this card, we probably just win the game because we just rebuild everything we've lost so far, comes back onto the field, gains us loads of life, triggers Resplendent Angels, and triggers the Angel of Vitalities along the way, so it's pretty sweet. Other than that, though, the deck is just trying to survive, so we've got a multitude of different removal spells to work with here. We have 2 Disfigures for a -2/-2. I'm testing out a lot of the M20 cards with this deck, so you'll see a lot of M20 cards that might be better as maybe the Ixalons, so like Disfigure, we have Moment of Craving, which is kind of better, but also not in a weird way. I'm trying out a few little cards just to see what is good for like sideboard deck, mainboard deck, So we have some idea of what is good post-rotation. So I'm running 2 Disfigures because I think it's probably the best thing against mono red in game 1 anyway. We have Night of Malices as well, which are good against the 3 Fairy. Hexproof from white means that 3 Fairy can't bounce it, and it becomes a 3-2 whenever it's attacking as well. So it's very hard for Teferi decks to beat this card without just wiping the board and things like that. Cast Downs for 1 non-legendary creature. Desparks for the Nissas and Big Teferis and all of that shenanigans. Wilderness Reclamation. Mortify again for Wilderness Reclamation and also any kind of creature. It's just a catch-all. 2 Cry the Carnariums for board wipe potential. Not sure if Cry the Carnarium is better than something like Golden Demise, because we do lose our creatures off that exile proc occasionally if we're not careful, but most of our creatures actually survive the -2/-2, so it's going to take a little bit of effort from our opponent actually to blow us out here. So the Bishop being 4 toughness. The Angel of Vitality can be a 4/4. Resplendent Angel survives it, Seraph survives it, Shalai survives it, Lyra survives it. So, yeah, Cry the Carnarium is good in here, but maybe it has to be Golden Demise. I'm not entirely sure. But again, like, once rotation rolls around, we have Cry the Carnarium as our only real option. The mana base is pretty simple. We do want the double white on turn 2, so we're running a fair few of our Scrylands, Temple of Silence, to make sure that our draws are just a little bit better. Isolated Chapels and Godless Shrines, all as a 4 of, and then 6 Swamps and 7 Plains, leaning into the Plains side again to make sure we have that Bishop on turn 2, and the double white on turn 3 as well. If we can make the double black on turn 3 viable as well, that's pretty nice. But yeah, that's essentially the main deck. Let's move on to the sideboard. Against control, we have the Duresses for Hand Disruption, speaks for itself. And 2 of the cards that I'm going to be running in the sideboard here are from the M20 set, and I think they're pretty decent as sideboard cards. We got Devout Decree, which is 1 and a white for a sorcery speed, exile target creature or planeswalker that's black or red. We're running this primarily to deal with the red decks that run Tibalt. So Tibalt actually stops life gain, which is our main way of beating that deck. We're going to absolutely thrash mono red in game 1. However, on game 2, if they get enough Tibalts, we're not going to be able to gain life, and we lose our leverage over our opponent's deck. So Devout Decree is going to be able to take care of the Tibalts, but also some early game creatures if we do end up drawing it. We also have some Legion's Ends as well, testing this card out. 2 mana for a sorcery, exile target creature an opponent controls with converted mana cost 2 or less, and all creatures that player controls with the same name as that creature. Then that player reveals their hand and exiles all cards with that name from their hand and graveyard. This has a lot of potential. In aggro decks, we can take out something like Steamkin, and if they have any in hand, we disrupt them by stealing those cards out of their hand. So this is basically removal with discard attached to it. Also, Hydroid Krasis just so happens to be a 2-mana card, and if they Hydroid Krasis X a million, draw all of their other Hydroid Krasis, we get to take them out of the equation, also taking them out of the graveyard as well, should that be relevant. Also, Nissa is a thing, and Nissa's lands are just so happen to be 0 mana cost, which means this can target the lands, and it doesn't actually say the creature cards in their hand with the same names. You just reveal their hand and exile all cards with the same name. So if we exile Forest, as an example, with Legion's End, and our opponent has a Forest in hand, we get to discard that as well. So there's a lot of use for this Legion's End card. I'm not entirely sure if it's going to be great, but that's what we're here to test. This deck is mostly a test, so I always say this whenever it comes to sideboarding and people playing my deck late. Metagames change and sideboards change with it, so be sure to tweak the sideboard as you play it, because the metagame that you're experiencing might be slightly different, but that's kind of why I'm testing some cards here. I want to see some M20 action and see what we're dealing with here as far as sideboard tech is concerned. Speaking of, Noxious Grasp, 1 and a black, instant speed, destroy target creature or planeswalker that's green or white. Again, we can instant speed kill Teferis, we can kill Tamios, and we can kill all sorts of good stuff. Hydroid Krasis, all for instant speed at 2 mana, so it's pretty sweet. I feel like this card is pretty great, to be honest. 1 extra Cry the Carnarium for board wipes, 1 Mortify for the Reclamation decks, Shalai to deal with basically Burn to the Face, because as soon as we play against mono red, Burn to the Face is all they've got left. Command the Dreadhorde. We're going to be running this kind of as Graveyard Hate in a weird roundabout way. I tried Leyline of the Void, but it took up too many sideboard slots, so I couldn't actually justify running it. However, Command the Dreadhorde is pretty good Graveyard Hate, right? If my opponent's graveyard's on my side of the field, Good stuff. Also, if they're running more board wipes, we probably want to bring it in. It's pretty sweet then. And finally, the Immortal Zone to deal with Planeswalkers, because as you maybe tell, we don't have too many good answers to Planeswalkers, short of just trying to beat them down. So if beating them down's not working, we'll bring in the Immortal Zone to take care of that. So anyway, guys, that's going to be the deck. If you do enjoy the look of the list, then make sure to hit that like button. It helps out the channel immensely. Without further ado, let's get into some gameplay and showcase the deck. Okie dokie, we have potentially nut draw of a hand. So we got Bishop of Wings into the Resplendent Angel, which is just 1 point short of gaining us the Angel when it comes down, but we can do the Angel of Vitality first. Got a bit of redundancy from Hand Disruption, Temple to find out other white source. There is potential that we get mana screwed here, but being on the draw, having a scry, seems good to me. That's 2 shields away from being screwed over by good old RNG, which, to be fair, has happened a lot to me today, so RNG's not my friend. We'll see if that's changed. Optimism, right? Of course it's changed. RNG is my best friend. It has my thoughts right there and then, ready to go. Ooh, Stitcher Supplier. Reanimator. Sultai Reanimator. Okay. Saw some troops. And we got a Godless Shrine, so praise RNG, for RNG is on our side. Seraph seems good against the Chupacabras. We get to replace. Do I need it, though? Or do I just want more lands? I mean, I've got the 3 lands for basically a 3-land hand here anyway, but it is uncastable right now. I think I actually want my land drops more. It's like I don't need them next turn, but just having them consistently turn up seems good to me. Looks like my opponent's milling away all their lands. So this is our opportunity to get... Oh my god. Oh my god. The nuts. This is our opportunity to get ahead of them on a potentially slow engine-based start. We'll see. Yeah, sure. They do get to mill themselves here, which is obviously not necessarily a good thing. However, they're kind of screwed on mana anyway, so it's not hurting me much. Alright, let's go Angel of Vitality, which sets up the Resplendent Angel next turn. Go up to 21. Swing for 1. And if we get Resplendent Angel down next turn, we gain 10 life and a 4/4. Tomebound Lich. Cool. Allows them to dig. Agent of Treachery. It's not going to do them much good, I'll be honest. They've got to steal a lot of my stuff for it to be worthwhile. Fun deck, though. We'll see what they can do here. Resplendent Angel. Gains me 5. Pumps up the Angel. We don't want to swing him with the Tomebound Lich, being a Death Toucher and a Lifelinker. Then we gain another 5. We're up to 31. There's not much our opponent can do here to actually scare me. It's like they can reanimate, what, a 7/6 that makes them discard. Or they can steal a 3/3 with the Agent of Treachery, and I'll just play another one. Yep, okay. Maybe they steal an Angel of Vitality. I'm going to hover it in hopes that they do, and they don't read the card. They get a Choop, okay. Steals the Resplendent Angel. Fair. I have a lot of Resplendent Angels, though, I'll be honest. So that doesn't really upset me at all. So we just play more Resplendent Angels. Basically gaining 10 life. And we got the 4/4 to swing through. Could I have swung in with the Bishop there, actually? The forced to block something, but not everything, so... I mean, I could have... Yeah, I could have actually done that. Because I have this Disfigure. Alright, we're at 41. Yeah. Anything that they block becomes a 1/1. Or a 0/1 with this figure. Alright, so we're up against Graveyard Hate. Interesting. What do we want to go up? Duresses don't seem particularly great. I don't really want to discard stuff. Although discarding the actual reanimator spell seems good, because they'll put the threats into the yard and then sadness will resolve. Exiling black creatures seems good. Doesn't hit the thief, but it does hit Tomebound Lich, the 7/6. So there's a lot of stuff that it could hit. I'm going to bring it in, although I'm not entirely sure that's definitely the right call. Definitely bringing in the Command the Dreadhorde. I didn't see any Planeswalkers, and Cry seemed a bit bad. So we'll go down the Cry the Carnarium. Cast down looks good. I also have to basically tech against my own cards on the off chance that they're going to steal them. So let's bring in Shalais against the Thief so they can only take Shalai. Go down a Lyra. And I guess the Disfigure as well. Should go down the other one. Legion's End exiles Stitcher's Suppliers and any further ones in their hand, but I don't think I'm getting that, especially on the play. They'll just play the other one. I don't think I'll get any value on that. I'll take the Mortify, I guess. Just more removal seems good. Try it like that. I was running out of time as well, so maybe I had something in my deck that I didn't really want, but I think I've got everything I need. Okay. Slow hand for us, but we're on the draw again. We got 3 lands. We can work our way up to Lyra and Sorin. We do need the white source, but I'm happy to draw the white source knowing that I've got Lyra and Sorin in my hand, so it's not the end of the world. Another bishop. Come on, good start. Our opponent plays slow. Hopefully we can take advantage of that. Let's go bishop. And the best thing for us is Resplendent Angel or Angel of Vitality. Noxious Grasp. Alright. Good sideboard tech. I really do like those cards. Temple of Silence is a good one. Set up the next angel. D-Spark. I think I'm going to bottom D-Spark. I already have the answer to their creatures. They're not actually like hexproof or indestructible, so Mortify should do some serious work. We know they have Connive Concoct, so getting rid of their board state isn't necessarily a good plan, but having no creature in play for Blood for Bones seems like it would be relevant. And we can't really stop it here, unfortunately. But they don't have a good target, so we don't have to worry. We also have no discard as well, so Tamiyo here, not too great. Okay. We could do Sorin -2, get the bishop. And then next turn we Resplendent Angel, trigger a million times over. Or I could just get the Resplendent Angel down. And then Sorin. I think it's Sorin get bishop. They have no reanimation targets, so I don't have to worry about that.
I did not start this fight.
-2.
But I will finish
Get
it.
Bishop of the Wings.
I require your body, not your soul.
We do have to block the Stitcher Supply, which could open up reanimation, I suppose. That's not necessarily true. I could just take the damage to avoid them having graveyard pieces, but Tomebound Lich is also going to be looting as well. So that could help. And again, I don't really need the Sorin, but I guess having him in play for potential blowouts is probably worthwhile. They want this to happen, though, which is unfortunate. And they hit nothing good. Awesome. That's the best case scenario for that. So they have nothing really to reanimate. So they need a way of discarding. Pulse of Marasa, the Supplier, to refuel. Blood for Bones, Ritual, and Noxious Grasp. All the removal. That's why I hate Stitcher's Supplier. It's never good. It's never good. Alright, now we can gain a hell of a lot of life. Let's gain too much life for our opponent to handle. Tick up Sorin.
The weak feed the strong.
And do we swing? Do we swing? We give him the Stitcher Supplier again. You know what? For the sake of fun, I actually kind of want them to reanimate something on me. So let's do it. Let's diggity damn do it. Yep, there's some good stuff. Alright. We gain 8 life. So they have the ability to steal my Resplendent Angel, but I have the ability to kill it and then reanimate it. So here comes the Agent of Treachery, I guess. Yeah, sure. Again, probably wasn't the right call to attack in and kill the Stitcher Supplier. Oh, are they going after Sorin? I can kill Sorin. They can minus up to 3, so they can get Tomebound Lich and kill Sorin, or they can just -1 to get the Supplier. They're losing him either way, so it's whichever one they actually value most. They're going with the Lich. Dump a land. Okay. So now we just go pretty crazy. Lyra gives lifelink and we gain 8 life. We also play Fountain of Renewal. And now we just swing in for a lot. Then we gain 8 life. Cool. Should be noted as well, we have protection from board wipes. So if any of our angels die, we actually get a spirit token. We actually get 2 spirit tokens for each angel. So if a Ritual of Soot came by, we would get 6 spirit tokens there. So pretty good. Yeah, I gave my opponent the chance to win for the sake of fun. They didn't manage it. Just a little bit too slow. And that's kind of the problem with Agent of Treachery, to be honest, you know. You gotta have that high impact card like Nissa, otherwise you're just kind of in trouble. And they didn't have it, so... Yep, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. We'll be back later on in the tomorrow days for some more Angel stuff, so be sure to stay tuned for that. Hit the bell icon as well and you'll get a notification when that video goes live. Hope you've all enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.